JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today is the 13th of July 2022. So welcome everyone, welcome to this Wednesday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, as always, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our jfdbrokers.com website, and yeah, you can check us out here. I believe you can find some useful information. So guys, now then, jumping into the charts, the first one I want to pick up here is Nikkei 225, and yeah, we're seeing a bit of a rebound here. However, still the same analysis remains. To be honest, I'm not gonna try to create something new here, but basically I am still keeping an eye on it. I want to see if this is going to end up being, let's say from the short-term perspective, if this is going to end up being somewhat of a an ascending triangle pattern. If it does, then yes, according to all the TA rules, these tend to break to the upside. However, for the downside, I would prefer to wait for a break of this upside line, and then I could aim for the lower side of the range here. But if the lower side of the range gets broken, that's where more sellers could join in. So pretty much straightforward, the same kind of analysis remains valid. Now jumping into Shanghai Composite. So this one managed to reach our target. So mission accomplished. Now let's see what's going to happen further. If you remember, yesterday I threw out the idea of maybe something of like this. Where we could see a maybe a bit of a retracement here, maybe a push back up towards that 3,356 territory, and yeah, it might provide resistance here. So let's see what's going to happen. Again, I don't want to rush into anything, but let's say if this does retrace back up here, but finds resistance near that 200-day EMA or that 3,356 territory, then another slide here could be possible, and then we'll just take it from there. Now then, Australian ASX index, so the ASX 200. As you can see here, I chose actually a different one here a little bit. So yeah, it's a different chart. So we can see that we broke the upside line, the short-term tentative upside support line taken from the low the 20th of June. So that's okay, fine. Of course, doesn't really bring a lot of confidence for the bulls, but nevertheless, I mean, let's see how this is going to play out. I mean, this upside line is so tentative that, I mean, we can even get rid of it. So my only other issue here is that I want to see if this is not going to be something like this, basically. So you can see that we drifted lower today, and we found support near this other short-term tentative upside support line too, from the low of the 24th of June. So in other words, what I'm trying to get here to is that we might be coiling up a little bit here. So if that's the case, then well, we could see a nice breakout and a nice good push either higher or lower, but again, until we see that breakout, guys, I mean, this can continue coiling up. So be very careful on this one right now. So let's say for the downside, if we break the lower side of this triangle, then yes, we could go lower, but in order to kind of in order to get a little bit more comfortable, I would say, with the further declines, then yes, a drop below the 6,521 territory would be great. That's the current lowest point of July, and if that gets broken, then yes, the next target is the lowest point of June, near the 6,390 92, 93 area, approximately around there. For the upside, of course, if the this downside line is not enough for you, well, you could keep an eye on the high of last week, which is around here. Let me just grab this one. There we go. So, but don't get me wrong, on a break of this downside line, the index could also break that 21-day EMA, and potentially more buyers could join in. So yeah, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind for now. But also what you need to keep in mind is, and apologies for repeating the same words, is that, let's say, if we do pop higher here and we move above that 21-day EMA, we start shifting to the upside. Don't forget that still this move higher could be classed as a temporary correction before another possible leg of selling, just because we are below this downside line taken from the high, the 20th of April. So yeah, still any move up until here could be classed as a temporary correction before another possible leg of selling. Okay. The German index. So yesterday it pushed higher, and look at how well these two levels are playing out. So if you remember, I talked about that and I said that, look, I mean, in order for me to go higher, I need to see a nice good push above that 12,912 territory. If we get that, if we push through it and stay above it, then yes, I'll go for the upside. But we got a hold up here. Okay, so back to the drawing board. Kind of yesterday we also tested this key support zone near the 12,668, 69 level here. I talked about this. I said that this is the inside swing high of the 6th of July, and yeah, we drifted. We drifted lower. Well, it drifted lower. We kind of found support here. Sorry. So yeah, we rebounded from this area and we moved to the upside. And this is, like I said, where we met that 12,912 territory again. So, in other words, the cash index right now is trading at around 12,812. So basically somewhere around here. So it's still in between these two levels. So I'm waiting here. I'm waiting until we get that clear breakout, so in order to consider the next short-term directional move. At the moment I'm not getting that, so I'm just observing it. The S&P 500, guys. So the S&P 500 did drift lower yesterday. I haven't looked at this one for quite a while, but as you can see, the arrows are still valid, the lines are still valid here. So yeah, we could keep an eye on these lines for now. We can see that yes, the index is drifting to the downside, or I should say drifted to the downside yesterday. I think if I need to adjust a few lines here. I think we'll mark this area, the area between the 3,723, the 3,738 levels. Now, again, I would say as long as it stays somewhere below this this shorter term, I think yes, a shorter term downside resistance line taken from the high of the 21st of April. If we continue to trade below it, then yes, I will continue aiming lower. Now the cash index is currently sitting at around 3,824 level, so basically we did rebound somewhat, but we're still below the 21-day EMA. That could be your other gauge, because as you can see, we moved back below this. I mean, I'm not saying that we are, becoming very bearish here or not, because the reason for that is that we have this upside line right here, which is still something to keep to be monitored, and something to keep in mind, because let's say if we do rebound here, and so far it seems that that's the case, we are rebounding on the cash index. If we can stay above it, then yeah, maybe we'll see a bit of a a move back up here. However, in overall, I mean, we might say that we are coiling up a little bit here, so that's why That's why we need to kind of wait here, I would say. Although it's quite tempting, don't get me wrong, but yeah, it's still something to be, careful about. I mean, I can try to start. I mean, I could complicate your lives with this line here as well, but yeah, probably no need. However, this will be quite interesting to see. Let's say if we do see some sort of a strong rebound, for example, back up here, maybe the crossroads between of these two lines, maybe that could be, like a nice exit point here for the upside. But again, that's just something probably that you would like to see, but will it happen? Let's wait and see, guys. At the moment, we're closer to this upside line, so let's see if we can actually, if this upside line can actually hold, if it won't break or something like that. Now then, DXY, the dollar index, and the dollar index is a tricky one right now, I would say, and it did push higher, yes, on Monday. On Tuesday, it formed something of a doji here, and according to all the kind of TA rules, such patterns tend to be reversal patterns. But sometimes, don't get me wrong, sometimes it can be also a continuation pattern. So yeah, that's why I wouldn't rely purely on the fact that it's a doji and it will reverse. It has this potential, a good potential to do that, but let's say even if it does drift lower and moves to the downside, but let's say stays somewhere above this 107.31 territory right there, then yes, this could be interesting. This could be a nice rebound here and maybe a push back to the upside. However, if it starts falling below this and let's say falls somewhere below this little area, below the 106.80, well, maybe actually we could do with a bit of a corrective move here to the downside towards that 21-day EMA. Now, okay, gold. Looking at gold, guys, this one is really tragic for the bulls, I would say, right now. But don't get me wrong, maybe this could end up, being seeing a bit of a retracement. Now, if you remember yesterday, I talked about this and I said that look, if we drop below this 1732 territory, then yes, I'll aim lower, but I'll only aim for that 1721 area, which is the lowest point of September of 2021. And look at this. I mean, we've managed to reach that area, and we're currently kind of finding good support slightly above it. Now, can we get a bit of a rebound here in this one? I don't want to rush into anything, but probably the better option here is to wait for a push back above the 1732 territory and then go to the upside. If we do get that move here above that 1732, then yes, I'll get a little bit more excited with the upside. However, from the, let's say, from the shorter term perspective, maybe also something to keep in mind is this little downside line taken from the high of the 8th of July. So again, it's not something really, let's say, significant, but just kind of, let's say, to keep an eye on it would be good, probably, just for that extra, confirmation. And if we break that, then yeah, the wonderful, more buyers could join in. However, if with the downside, if we start dropping below that 1721 territory, guys, well, I mean, this could open up the door towards even lower levels. So yeah, let's see how all this is going to play out. But at the moment, I would say I'm cautiously bearish, given that we already had a decent decline here. I would like to see a bit of a retracement here, but again, the market doesn't always do what I would like it to do. That's why I need to kind of switch off my emotions, and I would need to kind of put on a cool head on top. So, or should I say, have a cool head. Yeah. Anyway, guys. WTI oil. WTI oil. Look at this one. Beautiful move to the downside. And yesterday I talked about this when I said that. Look, I mean, if we drop below this area, this 100, this area between the 100.92 and 101.56, somewhere around here. If we fall below it, then yes, this could open the door towards lower levels, and it did. we managed to reach my initial target of which is the 200-day EMA, and then we broke it, and we actually managed to reach almost, I think this is a success, the highlighted territory right there, this 95 this 90 no sorry 95 93.50 zone, so approximately around here we managed to reach that one. So good result here. Now what's next? Of course, some of the bulls would like to see maybe a bit of a rebound. However, again, let's see what's actually going to happen. Of course, from what we see right now is that we see a commodity which is below all of its EMAs, and also below the downside line, and also is testing the key support zone. So yeah, that's why I would say it's a little bit tricky here. So be careful, and yeah, I mean, be careful with those longs. But at the moment, yep, I mean, maybe we could again. I don't want to say anything yet, because it's kind of leaning a little bit more towards the downside, but a confirmation break is still needed. So keep that in mind, guys. Ethereum. So Ethereum, the crypto world, again, we've reached the lower side of the range. Okay, so that's fine. We're getting a nice little rebound here. So basically, the same analysis is valid. I mean, until we get like a clear breakout here, then yeah, I'm not really doing anything about it. AUD JPY, jumping into a few pairs, guys. So okay, so this one is quite interesting because we are drifting to the downside, and we're still trading below this downside line taken from the high of the 9th of June. So yeah, I mean, as long as it stays below it, then there is potential for a move lower. And the fact that we are kind of struggling to move, or should I say, to stay above this 92.52 level, that of course is putting a bit of pressure here on the bulls. So the bears are trying to take control here. Okay, let's see if they can manage to do it. If they can, yes, I'll aim lower, but I'm not going to aim too far. Initially, I'm going to aim just for that 91.17 and 91.42 levels, and then we'll take it from there, guys. Here we also have this upside line, which could be an interesting one, but let me just double check something. Okay, so I mean, we could try to draw it this way, but okay, you know what? I'm gonna keep it for now here. Basically, all these lines are a bit on the tentative side, so don't put too much emphasis on them right now. AUD and ZD. So, okay, so the news came out this morning. We got the Reserve Bank of New Zealand ramping up their rates again. So, just a quick double check here. I wanted to see which. I think it has been already, like, I think the fourth one in a row. Let me just double check that very quickly. No, sorry, that has been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This has been the sixth one in a row, and yep, they keep on raising by like 25 to 50, and yeah, I mean, the last two ones were increased by 50 basis points, so it's quite a rapid increase, I would say, and yeah. It's although rising interest rates are sometimes are good for the currency. However, not occasionally, depends on the speed of it. So the speed of the rise. So keep an eye on it, because again, maybe the new Reserve Bank of New Zealand, Reserve Bank of New Zealand is kind of fearing, trying to maintain inflation, fearing a recession. So yeah, again, this is it's a tricky moment right now. Sometimes with these, it's not really straightforward. So don't really like go from from the theory that if it's a rise, then okay, great. It's it's good for the currency. Depends on the speed, of course. Depends on other factors. So yeah, let's keep an eye on, of course, on that. In general, what's happening in the market. But coming back to this pair, in general, I removed all the lines here for now, just because I wanted to show you that we're still coiling up above the around the 21-day EMA, and we're also doing something right like this here. So basically, it also seems that we're coiling up. So until we're stuck here, I'm not really touching it, and I'm just observing the price action. But it could be quite interesting later on once it, let's say, pops out. NZDCHF, just a quick update, so also quite an interesting one. You can see that after we rebounded here from the area, let me just grab an horizontal ray here. After we rebounded from the 0.59 territory, we moved higher. We found resistance near the 21-day EMA, which was around the 0.6058, yeah, we then drifted back down a little bit, so we're kind of stuck here. So it seems that, yeah, the bulls want to try and push this one higher, but at this point it's pretty straightforward. I need to see that clear breakout through this barrier, the 0.6059, in order to go higher, because such a move would confirm a forthcoming higher high, and then yes, we could aim for the upside. But then still, that move higher could be classed as a temporary correction before another possible leg of selling, just because we do have this downside line taken from the high of the 6th of April. So yeah, keep that in mind. For the downside on this one, maybe just this could help. This upside line here, a nice good break below it, yeah, could attract more sellers. USD CAD, just a quick update. I'm not spending too much time on this one because I talked about this one yesterday and on Monday as well. So yeah, after rebounding from that 23.6% retracement on the Fibonacci, it's sometimes good to leave the Fibonacci levels still on the chart, because again, you can see that some of them are valid. So yeah, we've rebounded, and in order for me to go higher, I need to see a push above that 1.3077 territory right there. Until then, I'm not really doing anything. USDCHF also had a nice push yesterday to the upside, and we're seeing a bit of a retracement. So again, this is a good one. Maybe this will come in line with DXY's this potential idea of retracement. Let's see. Again, either way, guys, I mean, even if it does decline a little bit, as long as it stays somewhere above this hurdle, above the 0.9764, I will continue aiming higher, and basically I will stay positive here, and we'll continue aiming, yeah, to the upside. So I've repeated myself already several times, so I think that you got the message. For the downside, this arrow has to go away here. Now for the downside, let me just grab this arrow right. Let me remove this. Yep. For the downside, I would prefer to see a drop below the 21-day EMA, to be honest. I don't have a particular level on this one yet, but if we do drop below the 21-day EMA, then yeah, I will consider a bit of a move to the downside. GBP USD, so yeah, look at this flirty move here. So we moved below that 1.1876. We drifted lower, but we failed to stay below it. And look at this right now. We're rebounding. Let's see if we can get a nice push higher, but this is where a few adjustments have to be made. So overall, we are still trading below this downside line. Okay, so that's good for these sellers. But given that we have distanced ourselves quite a lot from this line, maybe a bit of a push higher could be possible. However, I would prefer to wait for a break through this downside line first, and then we'll go to the upside. So yep, at the moment I will say keep your eyes on this, keep your eyes on this downside line. If from the short-term perspective, if we break through it, then I'll go a little bit more to the upside, but I'll keep an eye on this little hurdle right here, this 1.2056, in order to get comfortable with slightly higher levels. Euro NZD. Euro NZD. Oh, by the way, guys, in terms of the dollar pairs, keep your eyes on the economic calendar today. We do have some important data coming out from the U.S. Basically, we have their inflation numbers coming out, and also from Canada, the interest rate decision. So that one's expected to rise quite significantly from plus 1.5 to plus 2.25. So that's going to be quite interesting to watch what's going to happen here with USD CAD. So keep that in mind. And yeah, guys, I mean it could be quite an eventful day today. So be careful, be cautious, have your, like I said, have your stop losses in place and everything will be fine. But this is like I said, this could be quite an interesting volatile day, especially during the US session. And Euro NZD, as I said before, so we've approached that. We were still kind of flirting with this key support zone. I need to see a drop below the 1.6368 level in order to go lower. I need to see another drop because I need to see the pair actually staying below this. And if we do stay below this, then yes, great. Maybe further declines are possible. And finally, EURUSD. So of course, after everybody's talking about this right now, and after reaching that that parity, reaching that one level, and then rebounding from it. Yep, the pair is now stuck here. It formed yesterday doji. To be honest, what I'm looking at here right now is if we do drop below that one level, guys, I am aiming to the downside. And here right now, probably jumping into a monthly chart, we need to look for another level. But as I said before, what I'm looking at here is this 0.9610 area right there, marked by the lowest point of September of 2002. I'm not saying that we could reach that straight away. Maybe a bit of retracement could be possible, but again, that could be a nice target here, and something to keep in mind. And also, that level is kind of working nicely here with this other inside swing high, the highest point of January of 2001, and I think that's the highest point of 2001 in general. So yeah, also near that 0.96 territory. So yeah, guys, that's it for this session. I really hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for watching and listening. I really appreciate your time, guys, your views, your likes, your comments. I really appreciate all of that. I hope you, like I said, I hope you found this video useful. If you want to catch me tomorrow morning, as always, at my Traders Espresso, Traders Espresso at 6 o'clock GMT time. For now, have a wonderful trading day. Be very careful, like I said, keep your eyes on the news today, and everything will be fine. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.